Hello, my name is Kristen. I live in a van with my cats, and I sell and share happy thoughts, and this is the Happy Thoughts Podcast. Hi. Welcome. We're on the Happy Thoughts Podcast, episode 58. I have a big group of people with me today, and this has never happened, and we have microphones. It's so great. We all are at Omega. We have Christie, Diana, Barbara, and Anjali. And I'll let you guys kind of go around and just say your name and maybe why you're here. So what made you come to the podcast today and your name? That's our intro. And it can be you were forced into it. You can say anything. Okay, who wants to go first? Diana, you are the reason that we're all here together right now, so you get to go first.
Okay, my name is Diana Benz, and I am here because I want to be on this podcast with Kristen. I am listening to your podcast. I love them. And this is my year of trying all the things that I want to try that light me up, and this is one of them. Happy to be here.
Thanks for being here. So sweet.
I'm Barbara. I'm Mega's seasonal staff here, and I love hanging with Kristen. And I don't even listen to podcasts, so I thought I'd be on one first. So I'm here to see what this is all about.
Thank you. We're very grateful you're here.
My name is Anjali, and I'm here because of Diana and her amazingness, as well as Kristen and her amazingness, and all of us. And I also have never been on a podcast, so this is exciting.
Yay. And I'm Christy. I am here because I thought it would be really fun. It's my first podcast ever. But I also think one of my core woundings is to learn how to be seen. And I think this is just another part of that for me. So I'm excited to be here. I'm grateful Diana's the one that gave me the invitation. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think being seen and finding your voice or believing in thinking the words that you have to say matter are very closely tied.
Yeah.
And so much of Happy Thoughts are finding my voice through other people's voices, which is great. So the people on the podcast have heard me talk about happy hangs. I've been doing them with small groups around the country, and I was trying to figure out how to do this with so many people, and we're going to combine the podcast with a happy hang. So we each have a happy thought with us right now, and we're going to read them sporadically throughout the episode, and then the conversation will just flow however it's supposed to, because that's what we do here. So I'm going to read my happy thought first. You must find the place inside yourself where nothing is impossible. Deepak Chopra. I have this one taped on the van, on the dashboard. And I think it's so interesting to think about, well, it's not so interesting, it's annoying, but where we think our limits are, and that when we decide that that's not our limit anymore, is not. And I think finding that place inside yourself where you can just dream and think up jumping off a plane or just doing whatever it is that you want to do makes it so much more possible for it to ever show up. So that's what I think about this happy thought. Does anybody want to share their happy thought or share other thoughts on that thought?
To me, when I hear and I like reading at least some of the happy thoughts that I feel like we have here, it does feel like they all coalesce into the idea of the self. And that's one that I find absolutely fascinating, because it's like the self is something that's me, but then it's also all of us. So it's something, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think about that all the time. Really, the point of a happy hang is for us to feel a similar feeling near each other. Like they're supposed to invoke a similar feeling, and for it to be like, oh, we're all going through the same thing, and it's completely unique. Like, I don't know what it's like to be you or any of you.
Yeah.
And also, I know that you've all felt like you're not enough, and I know you've all been scared to try the thing. Those are such human feelings to be able to relate on. What's impossible changes for everybody. What I think is impossible is something you do every day. And I think just getting to see how we're all the same and how we're all different is helpful to coexist.
Yeah.
Coexisting is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also really feel like we have a bigger opportunity to meet each other when we're in community with one another, and also meet ourselves. Like, there's things I wouldn't know about myself unless I lived in community and had it mirrored back to me, like self-imposed limiting beliefs that I didn't know I even had until I, saw a friend do something and I was like, oh, I didn't even know that was possible.
Right.
Yeah.
I had a mentor who always talked about secret option number 3. You think that it's between 2 options, and there's always more,
Yeah.
in your head, it's this or this. And just in your head, those 2 exist. And in someone else's head, it's a different 2 options, There's so many, and we get stuck allowing possibilities. Too many possibilities can be a little bit challenging.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at right now. After Omega, there's a lot of different things that could happen, and I don't want to figure it out. I don't want to make that decision.
Yeah.
So I'm not. When we air this, I will have made a decision. We'll all know what ended up happening.
Good job,
But-
future.
Yeah, I was like, I can't wait to be her. It's going to be so good.
1 week to go.
Yeah, it's like, but right now it seems pretty impossible. But looking for that place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to say your landing here was pretty impressive, your story about coming to Omega. You were just kind of passing through, and then you said, wait, I can live here and work here. I love that so much.
And that was crazy. I had already decided that Omega was impossible, And then I went to wellness, and Peach was like, you should go talk to guest services. And I was like, what? And then that ball started rolling, and then I got a job,
You got a job.
which was I'm so grateful to have this challenge right now to figure out what's next, that I got to be here for so long that now we have to do what we were going to have to do 4 months ago, figure out what we're doing with our lives.
Yeah.
So
So for me, my happy thought is it's not about being perfect. It's about being brave, unknown. So I just had a birthday in September, and for this crazy birthday idea, my dream in my heart was to jump out of a plane with my friends. And I had friends there to support me, and that was my dream, and I kept with it. And these people in this room were there with me on that real exercise in trust and friendship and, facing fear head on, because it was a lot more difficult than I thought. It was so much more difficult. And I feel like I'm, ready to give, especially now, I'm ready to give myself the grace of just show up, Diana. Okay, how much time do you have? It's basically like, okay, you don't have to run around in circles and say you have to be perfect, which I grew up as a perfectionist. I have that tendency, but not anymore. Now I'm like, how much time? You've got 5 minutes. Great. You're going to take that 5 minutes. You're going to do what you need to do, and you're going to go out and teach, because that's what I love to do. Teach, or, do the project, or show up, because suddenly my calendar's full, and I'm like, yeah, well, I put it on here, so I'm going to do it, and I'm going to have fun doing it, and I'm going to have the universe help me. This is what I have to give, and I have a faith in my value, right? And faith that what I bring and give is enough, and it really helps people. So the rest is just a bonus. So the bravery, yeah, absolutely. Like, that's what it's all about. Being, trusting, and then having, friends to say yes to your crazy dream. That's wonderful.
To say hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Not even. And then trust that it'll be something that's fulfilling something for them as well in their own way.
I was like, no.
everyone. I love that you said trusting the universe, because I think that's like the scariest thing, when it's a full surrender of like, all right, what you got? like even showing up here, like, it was deeply uncomfortable getting here, but, and like the skydiving and all that, like, you have to just let go. Literally you have to like let go and hop on a plane, but I think being brave has brought me the most amazing places. And I don't think, perfect doesn't exist, but
Yeah.
thanks for bringing everybody together, and for believing in the thing that you wanted to do enough to share it with people, and to ask people to join you, or even just your wanting to do it in a parallel way, let people think that they could do it, even if it wasn't something that they were thinking that they wanted to do. It's like, oh, people are doing that. So even if you're not like pushing people to join you, it really matters just to be yourself and do the things that you want to do, because then you have no idea how big that's impacting outside you. But yeah. Thank you.
I'll go here on my little happy thought, and it connects a bit to Diana's too a bit. So it says, it's a Joseph Campbell quote: "We must let go of the life we have planned so as to accept the one that is waiting for us," which is a quote that I've followed a lot and I've always look at, because it happened in my life about 5 years ago, where I was living the suburban lifestyle, and things were blowing up, and I came to Omega for 3 months to work simply as a vacation, almost to like get my head together and figure out what I wanted to do next, what my next plan was, which actually turned into be sell my house and throw everything and take to the road. And come and after 5 seasons now at Omega, and then making it up on the off season, I realized that if I don't plan, my plans can be so limited. They're just, my perspective is so limiting that it's better to allow things to open up for me and see what unfolds in life. And so many people have said to me that, friends from especially my past, of how brave I am to live this lifestyle. And I've always said, I'm not really brave, because I'm not really afraid. So I've always expressed to my son, when you're doing something that you're really afraid to do. And I hadn't really experienced such fear until somebody asked me to jump out of a plane. And I have to say, as these women here know, I have never experienced fear to such a visceral feeling as I did that day, of needing complete trust in the universe, because I had absolutely no control over whether I was going to live or die, basically, in that moment. And I had never experienced that before, physically, like knowing, even though it's an illusion that we're not always in that situation, right? But having it just so present and so visceral was a bit of a shock to my system, but it was it was an amazing experience, and one that has stretched me, even afterwards, of recognizing, and as I've told other people, understanding other people's fear more now, because I don't think I felt fear before that day, quite honestly, ever. So feeling fear is good, I think, and we need to feel all the feels, but that's also the Omega way, I think, too. So.
I'm so curious about how you trust the fear enough to not let it take over your life, because I think that's something a lot of people struggle with.
It is. And so even in that one example of when we were up in that plane, I know that breathing was like one of the things that kept me from losing it completely. Having a stranger braiding my hair.
I caught that on camera.
That is such a sweet
was
story.
simply the most comforting, feeling like my mother behind me braiding my hair. So that was, so having a random stranger, right, who just comes in and supports you, like, it keeps coming in for you. Even when you just say, I need help, it comes. Because we are all connected in some bizarre way that we can't be aware of, that we are there for each other. And there's someone always steps up for you.
That it's a really sweet story. I don't know the entire story, but the guy, it was the tandem person.
It was my tandem,
correct?
yeah.
And he was braiding your hair.
Yeah.
And maybe he would have done that either way, but I just love the vulnerability. I mean, there was no way you weren't going to feel how you were feeling in that moment,
Right.
but that he could feel it.
I think he felt it. We were up close and personal, and I'm sure he felt my entire body, shaking like it was probably this close to a panic attack at that point.
Yeah.
So it was like,
And I think the beauty of that moment brings such a sweet moment with it. You know, if that moment didn't happen, if you weren't feeling that uncomfortable, that love wouldn't have shown up in that same
that
way.
connection would
which
not
I
have,
think is really amazing. Like you have to give up having control in that plane to allow something to show up for you, which can be braiding your hair, or it can be taking a breath, which when you're scared later too, it's like you get to have a practice.
Yes.
And like it's a rehearsal our entire life, you know, we're practicing something constantly. The next time that shows up, you either get to move through it, and sometimes we relearn the same lesson a lot of times. I think it's so impressive that you haven't felt fear in living unconventionally, and that you've been
There's been discomfort in the unknown.
sure.
There's somehow between friends, I know there's somebody out there always. I know something will catch me, so I do feel that. I do feel that
That's beautiful.
that there's always, yes. And
Yeah.
I'm not riding completely, wildly, like in the sense, like, I own a car and I have a savings account. So I'm not like one of the that's really
Yeah.
riding the edge. I just live a very simple life so that it's but I don't know from day to day, and I don't know from month, what's going to
Right.
happen next and stuff. But
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
that I've found is only what again, you can't always imagine what is possible. And when you find out, and also I have the gift of living in community with people,
Right.
not only at Omega, but then off season, renting a home, so to speak, with a few other people and getting to know them and living like that and intergenerationally. I've gained so much, and
Right.
there's just so much support. Yeah.
For me, I find your experience absolutely fascinating because you were sitting right in front of me. Obviously, Tandem Dude was in between us. He was braiding your hair. And I saw that, and he was wearing weird, horns.
A hat with horns or something, yes.
Very trippy. The whole experience was very ethereal, but I feel like I even being so close to you had such a different experience in that. And I feel like I really appreciate what you said to Kristen, where it's like in response to you, Barbara, how you've never felt fear and how you feel like you live fear constantly. That's something that I feel so viscerally as well. Like the anxiety, the confusion, the uncertainty. And to me, it might be, it just feels so intense. And for some reason, in that moment, and I told Diana this as soon as we were done, or the day after when we saw each other at work, I looked at her and I was like, I have never felt so safe.
Wow.
Never in my life have I ever felt like this is what it is. And I know for a fact, I have a feeling, my thought is that the reason I felt so safe was because it was finally out of my control. Obviously, it's always out of my control. It's always out of my control. What do I think I can do? I'm like, I don't have anything control. But it's like, there's no decision I can make. It was happening. And I literally had no choice but to trust. And I was like, it felt so good to just be like, yes, fine.
Yeah.
Like, thank you. Glorious man who is this radio talk show host who's getting to 40,000 meters, and I'm like, why are you just so calm and they're doing their little things, and it just I felt like being a baby again and letting go of everything.
And literally being held.
Literally?
Yeah. I skydived a couple years ago, and I felt very similarly. I was like, oh, this one's not mine.
Yeah.
I was scared, but also it's just interesting how we're all so different. But we're all feeling the same things,
Yeah, it's so interesting because it was that lack of control. I think I never really, even though we have no control, right? So that's that's an illusion. But just having it for the first time, being so apparent to me, I think that was it. Yeah. Rather than relaxing into that, it was just what the, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
absolutely terrifying. But there was a trust that I feel like otherwise I felt like I would have broke, and that was the thing. There was this. So.
There's really something to be said for the moments when we're able to lean back and stop gripping. I think the gripping to control is the thing that
the worst.
actually causes us the most pain. And when we're like, okay, this might be really emotionally painful or uncomfortable, and I'm going to lean back and be in the mystery of it, how beautiful that can be for us. Yeah. But it's such a threshold to cross. It's really hard.
This whole year has been surrender and let go, surrender and let go. And so much shows up when there's that much space. But man, it's not fun. Like, to let up on your grip. Like, clearly there's a grip there for a reason. There's something that tells you that that is for you. And then when you let go, it's like, oh, that wasn't for me because I was hurting myself by hanging on. I think when we can feel ourselves hanging on, that's when you're supposed to let go, Like you're clenching.
Yeah.
And we're not supposed to be clenched.
But it's also a cycle, it feels like. As soon as you let go, and then you're like, oh, this isn't that bad. All of a sudden, subconsciously, you're already gripping again on the surrender.
Right.
And you're like, well, this is
I know.
That's so true.
Yeah.
You know what I like to think of it as? I think of my healing journey, and outside of Omega, I'm a somatic coach, so I have clients, and with them, I always see it as like a concentric circle or the rings of a tree where you're uncovering a new layer of a pattern or meeting a new part of yourself. But it's like, it's not that part ever goes away. It's just your capacity for that thing has grown and expanded, and you get to see it with new eyes. And it's a little less painful, but it's still there. And you're like, wait, I thought I was done gripping to this thing, but I'm not. And you just keep expanding. Your capacity keeps growing. It's really beautiful.
what a joy.
Yeah. It's so delicious.
Excruciating, but delicious.
I know.
Exactly. It's both.
And also, you never get there. That's what
There
this
is
whole
no
life is.
end
It's
goal.
just morphing. Yeah.
Yeah. No end
Yeah.
goals. It's just life.
Yeah. It's so fun.
So hard.
I know.
I do want to ask, what was it like being on the ground and watching Diana or Barbara? Or did Sean? Did she?
Sean
did,
jumped.
She
Yeah.
jumped first.
Yeah, well, we could see very tiny dots in the sky.
it
Where I was
looked
like,
like
those are
little-
like birds. Like, what are these birds doing? And then we all had this realization where I was like, that's them. That's a bunch of people up there.
Exactly.
And you can't get it in picture form of like,
Not at
you have a picture and there's these tiny dots. You don't know how crazy that was. Like you can see the whole
Yes.
sky.
Yeah.
There's little people.
Just for perspective, we were 13,000 feet up at least.
It's
And there was
intense.
about a minute of free fall in there.
A mile. A mile of freedom.
And I was
Trust me, I was a math teacher. I've done all the math on this. I've done speed. I've done everything. I know exactly yes, it was a lot.
I honestly don't think I would have done it in the end if it wasn't set up like it was, where I had all of you with me. So thank you so much. Like there's something to be said about that. And also celebrating the milestone that I had with this big birthday, and just feeling like it could go one way or the other, where I could say, oh, things are going to go, no. Things are going to go like this, like the metaphor of leaping out of a plane into exactly what you want. I have kept that feeling, and it really fuels me. It fuels me. And I surrender all the time now.
Yes.
I surrender. Like, what do I want to do? But what's actually happening? Okay, I'm going that way. And that little
And the
voice.
practice of
Yes,
it. Like
it is like a muscle.
Such a literal, like it was a literal practice moment that now you feel it again.
Yeah, and I feel like it's all about kind of seeing what our edges are and going, no, is that really your edge? And then you go further, and then you go further. It's not like the problems stop, but then
Right.
your capacity, right, for finding, because with every problem there's a solution, right? There's always, it's always right there exactly. It's there for you
Yeah.
as a problem because there's a solution for you, and then you're meant to experience that.
Yes.
Well, you had many things. I remember you saying the day like that you felt like might be a reason why you wouldn't do it, or like things that you might say, but then you still did it and you still jumped out.
My body was rebelling. I went to the doctor the day before. They's like, don't do the jump, Diana. I went to my therapist the day before. Don't do the jump, Diana. And I was like, well, Diana, you make a decision. I made the decision, and then I went so full into it with all the tools that I had, and also knowing that I was going to show up for you. I could show up and just watch you in the end, but I didn't. I was like, I'm going up there with you, and I did. And I was the last one out of that plane, cheering you on so hard. And it just felt so much bigger and more beautiful than I could have imagined. And I feel like I brought that in. That's what I wanted. I was open to that. Okay, I said a lot of times. I said, "Universe, show me how good this can get." Okay, show me the braiding of the hair moment. Show me the, Anjali and I having our cute little victory sign fingers. Show me the video footage of all footage that I'll be proud to share everywhere, because I used to have such a problem with being visible, and now I can't wait to show myself, which is so beautiful. And also to help inspire other people that might think, you've reached a certain age or whatever it is, or then you can't do the thing. No, if your heart says you can do it, the heart knows, right? The heart will tell you. Mind can also get carried away, and it might not be your time, but so just go to your heart and say, is this my time for that thing? My heart knew it was my time for that thing with my friends. As is this podcast.
That's right. Diana's leading it. And we appreciate it.
I feel like that's very aligned with my happy thought, which is a Cheryl Strayed quote. And it's, trusting yourself means living out what you already know to be true. And I think there's a lot to be said for, not following the thing our heart knows is the right thing for us. And, the little ways we like to control or make things more complicated, and then it just becomes a self-abandonment of our heart and of our truest self. Yeah.
And the self-abandonment is how we lose trust in ourselves.
Exactly.
I feel like we think that we're saving something by abandoning ourselves, and then it's the little moments of listening to yourself. It's oh, I do trust me. Like Barbara, with the life you're living, you trust yourself, and you trust your people. You trust yourself to find people that will catch you if you needed help too. There's just so many different levels of ways to trust yourself.
They won't catch you out of an airplane, but they will catch you.
That's right. And you knew that. And that was the problem.
Yeah, I really feel like that the quote about trusting yourself and just the idea and the concept of it, and abandoning yourself or even denying yourself, that's something that I feel like I do a lot. Which is just another form, but just coded in I don't need it,
Right.
Just, it has a little bit more ego to it, or it has a little bit more, get over it, a little bit meaner.
It's you don't matter that much. It's not that big of a deal. So, because you're not that important. And it's you are very important.
It's for them, not for me syndrome.
Right.
Not true.
It's very true.
Yeah.
But I feel like my quote from Glennon Doyle is, treat yourself like someone you love. And so treating myself like them, it's for them, but it's for me. And that feels like the trust in yourself also means loving yourself.
Yeah.
It's just hard. It's the heart. That's a really difficult thing to do. It's not
Totally.
easy.
Yeah.
I feel like it's part of making the shift between having your sense of self be externally oriented, and then being afraid to disappoint someone or hurt someone's feelings, and using that as a reason to not, follow your path or do the thing that you are really feeling called to do. And when we shift and orient ourselves internally and really trust ourselves, it's kind of life-changing. Yeah.
I think getting to the point where you can hear yourself too is sometimes the challenging point, when there's all the voices that are, because of the external conditioning and everything, is you've been considering everybody else or what should be happening or whatever, and then sometimes you can't even hear what is the truth in me, what does my heart really want, and finding some ways to being able to access that is really, really important for each of us to find our own way to do that. How can I go within and know what rings true for me, so that I can then head in that direction? Because I don't think always take the time, or knows. Many people, it's taken me a while to know what that really feels like inside.
Totally.
Yeah.
We all have our things. I do love the breath work for that. I just want to make a plug for breath work. Because we all have the breath, and it helps with that.
Yeah. It still baffles me that you're not afraid living a life that's different But I think that you do listen to yourself. It's so clear that you do listen to yourself. That you.
Yeah, but there's also parts that are, to me, like I've shed so much responsibility in terms of, say, home ownership or even having an apartment. It actually has lightened my life up so much that it's easier. There's not as much noise, as much nonsense.
One, it sounds like you really, really started listening to yourself. Like, this house is not everything that I want, and I'm going to actually listen to that and decide that I'm going to do something different.
Yeah, true.
Like
So I'm also like, if you look at, human design and all that kind of stuff, is that I'm a person that needs change. And so me staying in one place and doing the same thing for a long period of time is really not conducive to my happiness.
Right.
And that's me individually. And so recognizing that fact that
and just
change
getting to know
is
yourself.
necessary for me. And even at 65, I know I need to constantly keep changing and introducing new for me to be happy.
Right.
But that's me. Right.
Well, and that's like, and then treating yourself like someone you love, like of being like, hey, this is what I need. And I would do this for somebody else, so why wouldn't I do it for me?
Yeah, that quote, I've often said to myself, if one of my friends came to me and said this is what they want to do, what would I say to them?
Right.
And of course I would be supporting them. So why am I even second guessing it for me?
Right.
Like that's,
Yeah. I like that.
I spend a lot of time in front of the mirror going, hey, how are you doing? Like, I do talk to myself in the sweetest way, and that really helps.
Yeah.
It really helps.
I give myself hugs.
Yeah.
Like, and it really does lower your cortisol. Like, it's really, I want to do group self-hugs during happy hangs. Yeah. With breath.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. We have to stop now because we ran out of time.
That
And
was
I
so
have a
fun.
call in 2 minutes. Thank you all so much for participating in this first happy hang on a podcast. Usually at the end, I'm like, tell us how we can find your Instagram or your website or that kind of stuff. And maybe this is a moment. We have seasonal staff I could say it, but I also feel like there's people who know this better than I do. The season,
Hit it, Diana.
I'm going to start it.
Sorry.
I was like, ooh, I threw everybody off with that one. The season goes from mid-May to mid-October, correct? Yeah. So we end end of October. And there are different departments. And the applications go out in February?
the first week of February.
First week of February.
The
Thank
first week
you.
of February on the website of Omega, eomega.org, is that you will see the applicants come out for, many different departments, from very skilled people to those of us that just run around smiling and helping each other.
Yeah.
And so and you get to live here in a community of over 100 people that range from 18 to 80-ish, and we all have a great time.
Barbara.
Great.
This is what I was planting the seed for. Barbara. Anybody got it? Barbara had it.
Barbara had it.
Yeah, what she said.
I'm known for bringing people together. The right people.
That's right.
That's
we
true.
appreciate you. And
It's
then
your gift.
Diana, Christie, and Anjali. How do you
Anjali's
say it?
all right.
Okay. I was like, I've been saying it wrong.
No, you haven't. There's no right way.
They are core staff, so you guys are going to start virtual now for like the second half of the season, and then during the season, they are in the main office running the whole show.
And I run around as much as possible on campus as well.
You
we
smile,
see Diana
yeah.
a lot.
Smiling.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just so happy to be here.
I'm so glad that we got to. I didn't go skydiving, but I got to join you guys. It was so
The
great.
support from the ground was
And-
crucial. Thank
Yeah,
you so much
it
for
was,
that.
it was really fun to get videos. And,
That was really beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you, Christy.
Yeah.
Thank you,
This
Christy.
was
Thank you so
fun.
much.
Yeah, thanks. And we'll air this probably in November.
It'll be nice, like
And-
post-season, a little dip
Yeah.
back into the Omega world on
Yeah.
campus.
All right. There's no button, so
Cut.
and done. Thanks for listening. Happy Thoughts are available on my website, thehappythoughtproject.com, and Amazon, and Fair for Wholesale. And we're on the Instagram, Happy Thoughts by Kristen. If you want to follow or leave a review on the podcast, you'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you, YouTube viewers, for being here.